Everything in your training as a drug-free lifter needs to be structured around progressive overload on the big major compound lifts. It's that simple. So when it comes to picking the right training split, all it comes down to is finding the best way to structure your training in such a way that consistently allows you to add weight to these big major compound lifts. And the problem with bodybuilding splits is quite simply that they are made for drug users. They're made for steroid users. And as a result, they're more focused on hitting a certain amount of volume, hitting a certain amount of frequency, hitting the muscle from all different angles. And consequently, they don't focus on the number one thing that actually matters and will actually deliver results when you're drug-free, which is progressive overload on your big major compound lifts. So conventional training splits will absolutely destroy your recovery and they will prevent you from being able to get strong. And the truth is that I throw this example out all the time. Say we have two guys benching 150 pounds for 5 fucking reps. If in 1 year from now, one of them is benching, 225 for reps and the other one is still benching 150 pounds for reps, who do you think got bigger? Despite all of the volume and the frequency and the angles that the 150 pound bencher may have been doing, who do you think is going to get bigger? The guy who focused on simple basics first training and built up to lifting impressive weights on the bench press, or the guy who followed a bro split but was doing all the right volume, hitting the right frequency, the optimal frequency, hitting the right amount of angles per muscle group? Who the fuck do you think got bigger? Who do you think got bigger? All else equal. The fucking 225 bencher, okay? So this is why conventional training splits just don't work. They don't work because they're not structured around progressive overload on the big major compound lifts. And the truth is that picking the right training split is actually extremely simple. And I'm going to give you kind of a compass statement. This is the cardinal rule of drug-free physique building. And it's that if you want to build an impressive physique as a drug-free lifter, all you have to do is pick a handful of big major compound lifts. 4 to 8 major compound lifts that work really well for your body, that you can train intensely, and devote years to getting really strong at them. That's it. So that's the first step. Ultimately, you need to find what these big compound lifts are. I'm a big fan of squats, bench presses, deadlifts, overhead presses, weighted chin-ups, rows, and dips. And you can pick close variations of these that would work better for you. But that's ultimately what it comes down to. So the person who focuses on these handful of big compound lifts, gets strong at them in good form and in a medium rep range, that person is going to be muscular. He's going to be jacked. So you need to stop worrying so much about the sets per muscle group and all this stuff, because it's just taking away your focus from what actually matters, which is focusing on this strength gain. So with this foundational statement in mind, what it's going to come down to is going to be training no more than 2 to 3 days per week, okay? You're not going to be able to train more than 2 to 3 days per week and give yourself enough recovery and give yourself enough recovery to be able to train intensely and get strong at these lifts. More than 3 days per week has little to no potential to stimulate muscle growth for natural lifters. And the truth is that if you're just going through the motions and you're going over the leg extension machine and then the lat pull down and all this bullshit, then yeah, you could train very often. You could train quite a bit. But if you're putting your energy where it matters, if you're focused on consistently delivering the effort on the big compound lifts and getting strong at them, relentlessly, gradually adding weight to them, you're not going to be able to train very much. It's that fucking simple. And nowadays, I'm very much biased towards training just twice per week. I think twice per week works way better for most people, which sounds so contrarian because the fitness industry now is fucking chemically infested. It's chemical warfare. And everyone's so worried about optimal this, optimal that, but no one's focused on what fucking matters. So step 1 was pick these handful of big compound lifts. Step 2, decide whether you're gonna train 2 or 3 days per week. And then ultimately, that's pretty much it. And now I'm gonna give you guys the best training splits, the best ways that I've found to structure my training in such a way that allows me to consistently get stronger at my big major compound lifts. One of the most important rules of program design and program splits is that you need to focus more on the lifts instead of the muscle groups. So I think focusing on the muscle groups and trying to get a certain muscle group big is a recipe for disaster when you're drug-free. You need to focus on getting big all around, which is going to require you to focus exclusively on a handful of big major compound lifts with the addition of some isolation movements for muscle groups that you need to bring up. But ultimately, isolation exercises aren't going to get you big and jacked. It's the effort that is put into the compound lifts, the big base builders, that is going to build your mass. You need to build the substance before you work on the detail. So as far as twice per week training, the first way that I love to structure my training and that I think works the best is 2 separate kind of full body workouts but with 2 different sets of exercises. So for example, on the Monday, I would do squats, bench presses, weighted chin-ups, and then I would do a few isolation exercises. And then on the Thursday or Friday, I would do deadlifts, overhead presses, rows, and a few isolation exercises. So it's basically 2 full body workouts, but with 2 different sets of exercises. And I find this works extremely well. So you'd basically be doing 6 to 8 total exercises in each workout with just, 2 sets per exercise roughly. The next best way to structure it for a twice per week training schedule is to do 1 upper and then 1 lower. So on the Monday, you would do bench presses, weighted chin-ups, overhead presses, rows, and then some isolation exercises. And then on the Thursday or Friday, you would do squats, deadlifts, calf raises, and then you throw in some extra isolation work. So this works really well also. So instead of doing the 2 full body workouts with 2 different sets of exercises, you'd basically take all the exercises that work the same group of the body and group them together. So for the upper body, you'd put all the key exercises for the upper body, such as the bench press, the weighted chin up, the overhead press, rows. And then on the other workout, you put all the key exercises for the lower body together, such as the squat, the deadlift, calf raises. So that's how that works, and it's very, very effective. If you want to train 3 times per week, there are 2 different ways I like to structure this. So the first way is that you can do 2 workouts. You can have a workout A and a workout B, and then you can alternate them Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So Monday would be workout A, Wednesday would be workout B, Friday would be workout A, and so on. You would just rotate back and forth on non-consecutive days. And for workout A, I would do an upper body workout, and then workout B, I would do a lower body workout. The next way to structure a 3-day per week training split would be to do 2 upper body workouts, Monday and Friday. The first one focusing on the bench press, the rows, and then the Friday upper body workout would be focused on the overhead press, weighted chin-ups, and then you would wedge the lower body session in between on the Wednesday, and you would do squats, Romanian deadlifts, exercises such as that. And those are the best ways to structure your training when it comes to training 2 days per week, 3 days per week. And ultimately, it's not about focusing on the muscle groups. It's not about all of that. You could see that it's very structured just based off of getting strong at the big compound lifts. So these training splits work really well because they give you a lot of recovery. They allow you to train intensely, and they allow you to consistently get stronger at your compound lifts, which is what matters. So don't focus on all this fucking bullshit training splits. Focus on this. This is what's going to deliver results because you're focused on what actually matters. You're focused on getting strong in your compound lifts, and you're giving yourself enough recovery, enough recuperation to be able to consistently and gradually add weight to your lifts. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you did. Make sure to pick up my free 13-point natural muscle building checklist if you haven't already. It has pretty much everything you need to know about building your physique as a drug-free lifter. It's basically a 13-point self-assessment to ensure that you're hitting on the fundamental principles of drug-free physique building. So we'll talk soon.